Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving headfirst into the fascinating world of women's health to investigate what I like to call the ultimate dynamic duo of the human body. We're talking about estrogen and micronized progesterone. Now, if you've ever spent time researching hormonal health, looking into treatments for things like fibroids, or exploring hormone replacement therapy for menopause, well, you've absolutely crossed paths with these two key players. I mean, they are talked about constantly, right? But despite all the chatter, there is still a ton of confusion out there about how they actually function together.
And really, that brings us right to the core mystery we are going to solve today. Why are estrogen and progesterone practically always prescribed as a pair? And what on earth does that word micronized actually mean when we're talking about progesterone? I know, it sounds super scientific, maybe even a bit intimidating, but as you'll see, it was actually a massive literal game changer for women's medicine. So, to get to the bottom of this, we need to meet our two main characters one at a time.
Section 1. Meet estrogen, the builder.
So think of estrogen as the builder. It's essentially the accelerator pedal of the female reproductive system. It's primarily produced right in the ovaries, and during a woman's reproductive years, its main natural form is called estradiol. Now, estrogen's absolute #1 job, stimulation and growth, period. It's the hormone of action. Literally every single month during the first half of the menstrual cycle, estrogen levels shoot up to hit that accelerator pedal hard. Its goal is to build up a thick, lush lining inside the uterus, which is known as the endometrium. It is constantly prepping the body for a potential pregnancy, and honestly, it works astonishingly fast. We're talking about doubling the thickness of that lining in just a matter of days. It's incredible.
But here's the thing. Estrogen isn't just stuck in the reproductive system, not at all. It is a powerful systemic hormone. That means it travels absolutely everywhere in your body. It acts as a literal protective shield for your bones, keeping them dense and remarkably strong. It keeps your blood vessels nice and elastic, which is totally vital for long-term heart health. It even reaches way up into your brain to regulate neurotransmitters, helping to stabilize your mood and making sure you actually get proper sleep. So estrogen is quite literally bringing growth and vital energy to your entire system.
But, and this is a big but, here is the crucial flaw of our builder character. Because estrogen is so intensely, almost exclusively focused on cell growth, having too much of it without some kind of balancing force creates a state called estrogen dominance. When estrogen just runs completely unchecked, it's like that accelerator pedal is pressed straight to the floor, and it's stuck there. This unchecked growth is actually a primary driver behind some really painful, disruptive conditions. It's exactly why uterine fibroids can grow out of control, or why endometriosis tissue becomes so heavily inflamed. Estrogen is incredibly powerful, yes, but it desperately needs a partner to keep it in check.
Section 2. Meet progesterone, the stabilizer.
Okay, so this is where the delicate balancing act really comes in. If estrogen is the accelerator, well, progesterone is the brake. It's produced in massive amounts during the second half of the menstrual cycle, right after ovulation. Progesterone steps in, takes one look at that thick uterine lining estrogen just aggressively built up, and firmly says, okay, stop growing. It matures the tissue and it makes it completely stable. So what happens if that brake actually fails? Well, if you don't get pregnant, progesterone levels are naturally supposed to just drop off, and that signals the body to cleanly shed that built-up lining, which is what causes a monthly period. But if estrogen is left completely unbalanced, meaning there's no progesterone there to pump the brakes, the uterine lining just keeps growing, thicker and thicker, and this is dangerous. It dramatically increases the risk of abnormal cellular growth, and far more seriously, it significantly raises the risk of endometrial cancer. The body simply cannot function safely on the accelerator alone. It absolutely needs the brake.
Section 3. The micronization breakthrough. Now, for decades, scientists and pharmaceutical companies kept hitting a massive brick wall with this. The logical thought was, hey, let's just give patients natural, plant-derived progesterone in a standard pill to act as that brake. Makes perfect sense, right? But it didn't work at all. And the reason is something called high first-pass metabolism. Basically, when a woman swallowed a standard natural progesterone pill, her stomach acids in her liver acted like this extremely aggressive nightclub bouncer. They ended up destroying almost all of the hormone before it could ever even reach the bloodstream to do its job. The body was literally filtering out the cure before it could start working.
So to get around this giant roadblock, scientists initially came up with synthetic workarounds. These are called progestins, and they're exactly what you'll find in most traditional birth control pills today. Now, to be fair, they definitely work to protect the uterus, but because their chemical structure had to be heavily modified just to survive the stomach and the liver, they end up binding to other, totally unrelated hormone receptors in the body. And this is what leads to those infamous unwanted side effects we hear about so often. The moodiness, the bloating, the unwanted changes in cholesterol. But then we have micronized progesterone. This is an exact bioidentical match to what your body produces naturally. Because of that, it offers a significantly safer, much gentler profile for both your heart and your mood. But wait, how did we actually get from natural progesterone being totally destroyed by the liver to having this safe, highly effective version?
Well, this right here is the absolute magic of micronization, laid out step by step. First off, scientists extract natural, bioidentical progesterone directly from plants. Second, they grind it down. And I don't just mean into a standard powder. They grind it down into microscopic, ultrafine particles. Third, they suspend these incredibly tiny particles in a natural oil capsule. Now, because the particles are so ridiculously small, their overall surface area increases drastically. And step 4 is where the magic really happens, the big payoff. This immense surface area allows the digestive system to easily absorb the natural hormone directly into the bloodstream, completely bypassing that whole liver destruction phase. It was a genuine, bona fide technological marvel. It finally allowed women to use a natural hormone without having to deal with those heavy synthetic side effects.
Section 4. The perfect team. When it comes to modern medical therapies, and especially when we're talking about managing menopause or severe hormonal imbalances, these two characters finally get to unite and form the perfect team. Honestly, they lock together exactly like puzzle pieces. Estrogen steps up and provides the much-needed systemic relief. It's the one that stops the hot flashes, ends the miserable night sweats, and fiercely protects your bone density. But if a patient still has their uterus, a doctor is almost always going to prescribe micronized progesterone right alongside it. It steps in to act as the essential bodyguard. It makes absolute sure that while estrogen is out there healing and supporting the rest of the body, the uterine lining remains totally safe, incredibly stable, and perfectly healthy.
And that brings us to the core reason why learning all of this actually matters. Understanding your hormones gives you the power to advocate for your own health. When you know exactly how the accelerator and the brake function together, and when you truly understand the incredible science behind micronization, you are no longer in the dark. You can confidently walk into a doctor's office completely equipped with the exact knowledge you need to have a real, informed discussion about what is going into your body. So I want to leave you with this one thought to really consider. For decades, women basically had to just accept synthetic workarounds with heavy, unpleasant side effects, simply because science couldn't figure out how to bypass the liver. But now that the technology actually exists to unlock your body's exact natural blueprint, are bioidentical options the missing puzzle piece for your own health? Keep learning, keep asking those hard questions, and absolutely never stop exploring the incredible mechanics of your own body.